a time and place when you can work from anywhere.
Two ladies in their mid to late 27s are deciding to.
And they're calling it workationing.
But first, there's a lot to be done.
Panic attacks to be had.
Bourbon to be drank.
Boyfriends to break up with and houses to move out of.
Cats to rehome.
I'm told we're hotter without cats. Cars to sell.
This dramatic music makes me want to have another panic attack.
Are we really gonna do this?
Are we crazy?
Can we fit all of our shit into a 10 by 10 storage facility?
Will Carrie crash the U-Haul?
I think we need more bourbon.
Does anyone have any pot cookies?
This is the Workationing Podcast.
New Hampshire is weird.
In a good way?
Yeah, in a good way. But you know it's weird here.
No, it's so bizarre.
You know it's weird. So I am in New Hampshire with Carrie right now.
Yes,
We
from
should look-
Ohio.
Yes. from
Kelly
Ohio.
Flynn from Ohio.
Yes. Since you last heard from us.
It is like T minus, 7 weeks since our July 31st midnight wine conversation?
Yes, and so much has happened. We are actually okay. So I feel like we should lay the scene for where we are right now.
It is October 8th.
Yes, at 9:09 in the PM.
Peak leaf peeping season.
Yes, it
out
is
here in New England.
just in the New Englandiest place I've ever been.
You had clam chowder.
I did have clam chowder, and you know what? It was divine.
It was so good.
It was so good. We're staying at a hotel.
We're staying at the Radisson, which, by the way, the Radisson in Manchester is where all of the presidential candidates come because the primaries start in New Hampshire. So New Hampshire, being the first in the nation state, gets just this wave of political celebrities every 4 years. And like Secret Service was downstairs
Yeah, I saw them.
in the hotel earlier. I don't know who's here, but they must be important.
Probably.
Do you feel safer?
No.
Uh,
I don't feel unsafe.
No, I don't either.
No, but I like it. So I came to New Hampshire
Yes.
pretty abruptly. Currently drinking wine.
We're drinking wine in bed, in 2 separate beds,
Yes.
sharing a room in the Radisson right now so that we can have this conversation and talk about the progress that we've made in 7 weeks. Because it's coming up, so first of all, we had the conversation, we talked about workationing, we were pretty sure we were going to do it, and we were like, maybe we're crazy, let's sleep on it.
Yeah. And I mean, we woke up the next day and we were both still in.
We were.
But I feel like I spent most of August in like an almost like dissociative state.
We made no progress in August.
No, August was just I feel like both of us throughout August, we kind of checked in with each other
We did.
on like every few days. Like, are you still feeling this? And it was like, yeah, I am. Like, are you? Yeah. Like that sort of thing.
Yep.
But I knew that at the end of the month, I was going to need to put in my 30 days notice at my apartment for several reasons I'm
Right.
sure we'll get into at some point. And I spent all of August, and it was even like September 1st was like the last day that I could maybe get away with turning this thing in.
Right.
And I turned it in at like, the place closed at 5, and it was like 4:52 when I strolled through the door with my letter, because I just feel like I was that...
Room service.
Room service. Hold on 1 second. We had to get more wine.
If there's one thing I love, it's hotel room service, I have to say. I love me some hotel room service, and I love eating in bed. Like, there's something extra special, and Kelly's just like crunching on all the crostini. They brought us all the crostini. They knew. They knew that we were women on a mission, and we're like,
No,
oh,
this lady was like, she was like, I got you extra crostinis with your extra crostinis. And she was like, if you need more crostinis, I'm your girl. She really said that.
and we were like,
And we were like, are you? Because that sounds great.
I might tap you for that. Don't you make promises you can't keep, lady.
I'm crunching right into this podcast.
It's so good. Okay, so we got room service, and where are we at now? So besides you're here in New Hampshire, we're here in New Hampshire. We are making progress.
Yes.
You just moved all of your shit. I don't think that we've gotten into like.
I'm so free. So footloose and fancy free.
I am the most jealous right now.
So after I spent all of August freaking out, finally deciding I needed to get rid of my apartment, I have the issue of the cat.
I have that issue too.
One chicken, the cat.
I've got a cooter.
Yeah. And chicken needs to go somewhere. So I actually talked my parents into it. But you know how chicken is. Like, she's very attached.
Yep.
Like, chicken and I have an unhealthy relationship. And so partly to save money, because I felt like that would be a good idea.
Right.
To, like, have a little nest egg. Because you don't know what's going to come up, right?
Nope. You need, like, get out money.
Yeah. And then on top of that, I needed the place where chicken was going to feel comfortable. So I ended up getting rid of my apartment and moving into my parents' house for a few months with the cat so the cat can, like, get used to it.
Right.
And which involved getting rid of my apartment and putting all of my stuff into a 10 by 10 storage unit.
But you shut that door.
Girl, I shut it so hard. And I had so much anxiety leading up to that. I was so afraid.
I remember, I saw your Facebook post and I was like simultaneously super jealous and yet horrified at the things that I still need to deal with.
Well, it's horrifying. It really is.
Oh, no, don't you tell me that. You gotta be like, no, it's girl.
No.
Girl, you can do this.
No. I'm going to tell you. Actually, you know what? My friend Alyssa, who has always like the best advice in these situations, said to me, she said, every single time you go through a loss, it's basically like you're dragging up every loss that you've ever had. And weirdly, although that sounds like very cynical,
right?
It actually, for me, was really helpful because it's like, you know what? I'm going to feel this. And that's inevitable.
Yep.
But like, what am I going to do? Just like never move again so that I never have to feel any pain? You know? So like, this is going to be uncomfortable. It has to happen. But, you know, the fact that it feels hard doesn't mean that, like, I don't know.
There's not a lot of progress in comfort.
Exactly.
You have to be uncomfortable if you're actually going to make progress, and it's because you have to challenge yourself, right?
Totally.
I don't know. Like, I've been giving myself all of these pep talks and have made a lot less progress than you have made.
Well, you've been in a different position.
Right, so I live with my boyfriend.
Yes.
I live with my boyfriend. I pay him rent. And
it's a tough situation for you, I know.
It is. And I still have a long way to go. You've made a lot of progress. We have made some progress. So we've booked our plane ticket and we have picked our first place.
Yeah. Which is a long way to come from. I mean, it's been 7 weeks, but still, I think the first time we recorded our initial conversation, it was like an idea, like, oh, maybe this will turn into something. But like, it's in 7 weeks, it's actually turning into something.
It is.
Like, it's like, I think we're really doing this.
We are. We booked the tickets. We have the Airbnb. We are going to Aguada, Puerto Rico.
Yes, I can't wait.
We're getting on a plane on January 1st. We are actually executing the plan that we talked about. And we've mapped out the plan in more detail. And there's something romantic about, like, New Year, fresh start.
I love it, even though I know I'm going to be the most hungover. Because, like, New Year's Eve is, like...
New Year's Eve / going away party?
Yeah.
We're combining those two, and then we're hopping on a plane, smelling just, like, all of the booze.
I'm just going to sweat booze over whoever has the misfortune of being next to me.
Oh, man.
I'm just going to be, like, belching and sweating booze.
And hating life.
Mm-hmm.
Like, maybe using that airplane sick bag.
Yeah. But you're not stopping me. I'm getting to Puerto Rico.
And we have, like, outlined some goals that were loosely, right? So, Puerto Rico, we're going to learn how to surf in Puerto Rico.
I mean, we could try that.
We're going to try to learn how to surf. We have a month. We're going to be there for the whole month.
I think
we got a 2-bedroom, 2-bath, really nice Airbnb. How much was it, all told?
16 something a month.
We should create a spreadsheet and just, like, track all of our expenses and document exactly how much all of this shit costs, because it's really easy to be like, oh, a little bit of money here, a lot of money there, and then all of a sudden it adds up and you're like, oh, I am breaking the first rule of workationing and I am making less money than I'm generating on this trip, which is a no-go for me. So
totally.
We need to stay budget conscious. And I think that we can do that in beautiful Aguada, Puerto Rico. How much was your plane ticket? Because mine was...
Mine was only $177 on Kiwi.
That's about how much mine was too. So Kiwi, which used to be skypicker.com. Now Kiwi, we love it. It's like...
It's part of the reason why I'm here.
It's a way better Expedia. How much was your plane ticket
The plane ticket here was $80, but then the plane ticket back, and this is Boston to Cleveland, both of them like a nonstop flight. On the way back, it was like 47 or something like that.
That's amazing.
It's incredible.
I don't know what kind of like dark magic voodoo they've got going on over at Kiwi, but like,
right.
I'll throw in on it.
But like this week of room service and pool time brought to you by Kiwi.
Kiwi.com.
Because we've had a really fun time.
If we make this a podcast, we should totally shoot for them as a sponsor. BT Dubs.
We should.
So, oh God. I'm just like delaying the conversation about my lack of progress.
I mean, listen, you are in a very different situation. Like, I mean, it's not like you have something to run from.
I don't, so.
Yeah, get into it.
I don't have a shitty life.
No, not at all.
I live in New Hampshire, which I have picked for reasons we can get into in a later podcast, but
I have to say it's very lovely here. I've never been before, and it is strange.
And I've got a crew.
You do, and you've got a pretty top-notch crew.
You've got a top-notch crew, too, I have to say. Wow. Your crew in Ohio is legit.
You know, game recognized game and all that.
It's true. Okay, so my friends are awesome. My boyfriend is just... I feel like I can have this conversation with you because I've had this conversation with him, and we've had it multiple times. And we've, like, actually had this conversation in front of some of our friends talking about, like, in the context of Carrie's leaving at the end of the year. And then it's like, well, are you guys going to stay together? And it's like... Extended workation it has to be a no. Like, you don't go into the real world with a boyfriend or a significant other, and the reason why you don't do that is because you're going to be faced with like so many possibilities. And
I feel like the real world taught us so much. Did it not?
I have learned so many lessons from like designing women in reality TV.
I mean, you know that if you were going to stay in that relationship, that I would be 100% supportive of that. But I also recognize like the difficulty of it. Like, I mean, honestly, like to be separate, and I think that we're going to be like really, I mean, listen, it's not like we're going on a dick safari. Like, that's not what this is about.
No.
But it does change how you relate to other people and to the world when you are single versus when you're not.
It does, but beyond that, like so I've been divorced before, and when I started the agency, I started with a business partner, and it's been over a year now that I bought her out. And I have had just...
That was almost like a second divorce.
No, it really was. And it was amicable. Both divorces in that instance were
well, you're not the
amicable.
kind of chick who like has beef with people.
No, it's just like, is this working for you? It's not really working for me. And sometimes the answer is it's working for one person, but not the other. And then like that issue still needs to be addressed. But like a couple years ago, was it a couple years ago? It was a few years ago. It was when I was still married. I was just like, I've got some things that I really like about my life and other things that I kind of am still unsatisfied with. And I really like my job.
Right.
I am challenged by my job. I love the work that I do. I don't have complaints about my work because I genuinely love my work. And when you find a place in your life or a piece of your life that's working really, really well, it's really easy to dive into that. And like, I work a lot, but it also makes you question, like, if I'm so happy in this area of my life, it kind of stands cheek to jowl next to what isn't working as well in your life.
I so identify with that. And actually, so Carrie owns the Content Factory. I work at the Content Factory. I've been at the Content Factory since like September of last year.
Yep.
So we're like over a year now. And I have to say, just coming into this company and first of all, just having the ability to work remotely and also to be doing work that I really enjoy and with people that I really enjoy. Like, we actually got to have a really fun family dinner with like part of the crew
with the East Coast crew.
Yeah, who like lives, and some of these people have been friends for many years, and some of these people...
We just hired Kendra.
Yeah, and some of these people are people that I've only like worked with, but not like over the phone, but not
got
to meet. And it was such a great night. And so, like, I love the people that I'm working with. And when something in your life is going so well, and I have to say from day one, TCF has been something in my life that was going really well. And it's changed my life because everything at work was going so well that, like, you know, you do start to notice the stuff that's not going so well, you know?
And for me, it was like all of these safety nets that were like, are they safety nets or are they like, is it not a net waiting to catch me? Is it like a ceiling? Is it a tether, or is it like a ceiling that I need to break through? And there's comfort in what's known, and there's comfort in stagnation, but there's not progress in stagnation. And you know, as we talked about 7 weeks ago, we're not in a position. We don't know how much time we have. Like, time is of the essence, and you and I are brutally aware of that as a result of like the loss of our parents. And it's something that you and I have both spent a significant amount of time thinking about and reflecting on and trying to like.
Well, and I think that like the importance of this to us is underscored by how truly difficult this transition has been, even already.
We're not even there yet. I feel like it's going to be different when I'm on a beach, when we can walk to a beach, when we get to Puerto Rico.
But we're about halfway through those like 5 months that we set for ourselves.
We've got so much longer.
And we've got so much to do. It feels so long. It also feels so short. I feel like we've both been through so much. You've got some more to go through, which like I know is going to be tough.
So like we've had these conversations and we've broken up twice. Since
as you do.
You never quite make it out that door. And the, I guess, compromise that this really isn't easy.
I know that it's not.
Easy.
And I know, like, and I've only gotten to see you guys together, like, in a very limited capacity. But, like,
he's so amazing.
He's so sweet. And he's like, Carrie, darling, I've made you French toast. And, like, he does have a really good hairline.
And great teeth.
And, like, he makes things outside with his hands.
He's got a PhD.
He does.
And a real job.
Yeah, but he also will, like, build you a shed or, like, a garden or something.
He's done all of these things.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, you built me this garden that I don't want to go to.
So you're not like, please let me get out of this nightmare.
No, it's not. It's not. It's not like, it's totally not a nightmare. And it's like, at some point, good enough has to be good enough, right? The enemy of what, like, finished is what? How does that go? The enemy of like
progress is perfection,
something like that.
I don't know.
It's like good enough is not good enough, essentially. And there's like a short, snappy thing that I could probably Google and hotel Wi-Fi. It'd take me a minute. But like, at some point, something has to be good enough. And like, but I don't want to settle. I can't settle.
Well, I feel like I know. So in a way, this started 7 weeks ago when we had that first conversation.
Right.
But in a way, this really started when we had lunch together in Mexico all the way back like last year around this time.
About a year ago.
Yeah. And we just popped out to like get some tacos.
Yes.
And we were out on the beach and like we were eating some fish tacos on the beach. And it was just like, it was so good, you know, to walk 2 blocks and to be on the beach and to eat a fish taco. Like,
in a weird place, it was really interesting. And like, these people are different.
Yeah.
And I don't know how they work at all.
And it was so good. And I think both of us were kind of just talking about how great that is. And that, like, I think that in that conversation, it began to dawn for both of us that this is something that, like literally we can just do. And I think that for both of us,
like, we could live this way. It doesn't have to be a 2-week thing. Like, we could do this in different places.
Right. And so Carrie and I, we work together every day. Right.
Yep.
But at the same time, I feel like you and I, especially, like, Carrie and I have like a really good working relationship. So even though she's one of like my best friends, I feel like we have plenty of phone calls that are just like, so what, this thing, yes or no? Yes. Okay, great. And this, okay, cool. Awesome. Great talking to you. Bye. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Like we have very efficient work conversations, I feel like. So we've been in 2 different states and we've talked every day, but we don't necessarily talk about this. We've been checking in. Mm-hmm. But I feel like over the last year, we both have evolved in a way that like brought us to the point where at the same time we were both ready to go. And I think it started with that first conversation. And it's one of those things where it's like, I think we just saw the life and what could be. And I know for me, I'm not somebody who, like, once I've had that thought, I can't unhave that thought.
Nope. I marinate on it.
Yeah.
And then
I can't just be like, oh, like, this life is pretty good. And I have a great, I mean, you do too. Like, because Carrie came to see me like about a month ago in Ohio. And so, like, think that we've gotten to, like, meet each other's crew.
Yep.
And, like, we both have, like, a very respectable crew.
We do. Smart people.
We roll deep with some, like, very smart, fun people.
Fun people.
Yeah. And I think
and challenging people, right?
Yeah. Yeah. People who, like, really, it's not like I need to get out of Akron, Ohio because, like, there's nothing. And it's not like you need to get out of here. You know what I mean?
No.
Like, I think that we both, like, I am very, and I can see in your friends because I've met them now, like, I'm very, like, lit up and inspired by my friends and challenged by my friends. And, like, I find those relationships to be, like, extraordinarily fulfilling. So it's not like I'm like, it's empty and I need to go find meaning somewhere.
Yep.
It's not about that, which actually kind of makes it harder because then you have to say goodbye to all those people.
Well, like, why do relationships end? Usually there's, like, this sucks, there's fighting. We don't fight. I'm not a fighter. I'm a lover, not a fighter.
Right.
You're
an extremely non-dramatic person.
No, and there's not a lot of conflict. I mean, there's really no conflict in my relationship. And that's part of what is just, like, so comfortable about all of it. And, like, I respect him so much. And he's all of these things that I've always wanted. And I still do want in a partner. But, like, at the same time, hot off of my divorce. Like, fresh and hot off of my divorce. Like, the paperwork hadn't even been finalized yet, but we were definitely separated. We had some time apart. Like, my ex moved back to Pittsburgh and all of these things. Like, Tom was the first guy I really, like, dated.
Yeah.
After my divorce. And I thought it was going to be, like, it wasn't like, oh, I'm so excited to go slutting around and, like, relive my college years and just, like, let's see what those frat parties are like again. Like, I've been there, done that. I don't need it. I thought I was going to be, like, single and dating for a while. And I have this whole, like, who does that? Who's really, like, single and dating?
You know what? I am for the first time, but at my age where I am right now, in my mid to late 27s.
Yeah, we love the mid to late 27s.
We're not letting that go.
No.
We're sticking to it. I have had 4, like, major relationships as an adult. All of them have lasted, like, between 2 and 3 years. And, like, if you do the math on that, like, there has not been a lot of downtime for me. You know?
Right.
It's often, like, 6 months or less between, like, really serious relationships.
Well, and the boyfriend and I have been together for coming up on 3 years. And, like, we have traveled together and all of these things. And, like, marriage is starting to come up. And it's like, I feel like I was just married. I was married or with my then husband, like, when we were dating. That was, like, a 7-year relationship.
That is so long.
And now I'm 3 years into this one almost. And so, like, for the last 10 years, I really haven't been single.
Yeah.
And, like, what is that like? What is that like as an adult? I feel like I need to know that so that I can take a step back, evaluate the options that are in front of me, and then, like, choose a path moving forward that I'm actually going to be satisfied with and not feel like, and I don't feel like I accidentally ended up, I mean, I did accidentally end up in this, but, like, the reason why I stayed in it for so long is because he's amazing.
Right.
And there might legitimately be something wrong with me for this, like, not quite being enough. But I have to explore this because, or I feel like I have to explore this because I don't want to have any, like, deathbed what ifs.
Do you think, though, because, I mean, I see how great he is. Like, he's really fantastic. So, like, what do you think the chances are that you might rethink it after you've been gone for a while? Like, do you think there's a chance for you guys in the future?
I do. I mean, like, we've talked about this because, like I said, it's just the middle of nowhere, New Hampshire.
Yeah.
Is where I live right now. And I love to travel, and I have set up my life in a way that is possible on purpose. And Tom's got, like, a I don't want to say a real job because it's not like I don't have a real job, but
he has a location-specific job.
He's got a location-specific job, and he has a set amount of vacation time every year, and he goes to conferences. He speaks at conferences. It's like, I get to go and experience that and travel with him. But, like, I need to be by myself for a while, I think, in order to figure out if this is, like, where I want to end up. I like living intentionally, right? We talk about living intentionally a lot, and that requires a lot of reflection, reevaluation, and just like assessment all the time.
Right.
And like where I came up is I need to know myself better, and I have this opportunity, and I would be remiss in my duties as a daughter of my badass mother to not explore these. And these possibilities, and to live as big of a life as I'm capable of and that I want to live, and not be held back by anything. I can't be restrained.
Right.
Like I refuse to allow myself to be restrained. And
right, but there's also a possibility.
Oh, that sucks. Cutting those ties sucks so bad. Like, and so is there a possibility that I would get back with him? Probably. I mean, like, there's a huge percentage chance that, like, I'm going to take a step back, go on this trip, be in these fabulous places, and realize that it doesn't mean anything if I don't have, like, the person to share it with.
Right.
And maybe I've already found that person. Maybe I haven't, though. Like,
well, as, like, your girl, and I am, and, like, I know we're speaking into microphones right now, but, like, that doesn't have to mean anything at all. I want you to know, like, genuinely from my heart, like, girl, like, this is an adventure, but like, it doesn't have to be any particular kind of adventure. And that, like, if you get to a place where you feel like, you think you want to come back, or you want to cut it short, or you feel like this isn't the right move for you. I mean, honestly, we could do a month-long workcation to Puerto Rico, and that would still be very badass, and I would be very excited about that. I mean, I'm just saying you have options.
I know. And I really, really appreciate that. And you and I have, like, had conversations about exit doors, right?
Yeah.
Like, exit doors throughout this whole process.
It's really intense. Like, it's, like, and we are besties. But at the same time, like, it is really intense to, like, share space with somebody all the time. And work together. And travel together. Like, we might as well just get married. Like, but probably we shouldn't.
No. Leaving one life partner for another, right? But, like, we talk about these exit doors, and they're front to the back to this. They're really all around us. And, like, I very much appreciate you telling me that no judgies if I need to dip out at the end of the month because I feel like it's a mistake. I'm going to give you the same guarantee, and it's not going to impact our friendship. It doesn't have to, at least.
Because neither of us knows what this is going to be like realistically.
No, and I am all about failing fast, as you are too. Yeah. If this is a mistake, let's recognize the train wreck and get out before we all die alive. Like, we're going to burn.
Yeah, when we work on stuff all the time, it's like, well, if we're trying something new, the goal is fail fast. And I think that's the same with this.
Right.
Because we'd rather just learn the lesson and move on. If you're going to fail, do it quick.
Tim Ferriss makes it look so attractive, though. This, like, travel the world and...
I know, but, like, he also wants you to eat, like, lentils only.
He works out way too much.
Yeah,
for
I'm
me.
Not doing that.
I mean, like, I couldn't keep up with that.
I mean, he can do it all he wants. But he, like, sits in ice baths, too. Like, he does all sorts of shit.
Oh, I know.
He's, like, some kind of a, like, mad scientist.
I had Botox injected in my forehead once to stave off my early 30s.
I think my early 30s are showing.
I'm not here to judge. My early 30s were showing, and so I had some, like, botulism just straight up injected into my face.
It's all right. I think it's great. Listen, I will. I'll do it. We probably shouldn't do it over. I think we need to, like, make a no sketchy overseas plastic surgery pact, though.
We can do that.
That's easy. Okay, so they're, like, not to put you on the spot, but, like, percentage-wise, like, where are you in terms of still wanting to? Because, like, listen, we haven't invested that much money.
No, but we've booked the tickets. Like, we are going to Puerto Rico.
Okay, but, like, what's your percentage in terms of staying after that? Like, how long? Like, I mean, I guess you don't have to tell
I've got this mountain to climb.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. I'm going to climb this mountain and then I'm going to slide down the other side. And like the trudging up the mountain and like reaching the peak where you like can hardly breathe and oxygen is in short supply. Like I'm going to climb that mountain and I'm going to slide down it. And then I might slide down and reach the bottom of that mountain and then realize I want to climb right back up it.
Right.
And maybe stop it where I was at camp last time.
Right.
You know, like, so the metaphors are terrible. I don't have,
Listen, life changes make you very philosophical.
Well, sometimes when you don't have any experience to pull from, like, I've never done this before. You've never done, I mean, I have workation before, but like what we're talking about is an extended, it's not a break from life because we're taking our lives with us.
Yeah, but we also booked a one-way ticket for January 1st and we literally don't know where we're going next.
We do not.
And like a year might not be that long, which I think we feel like it could be shorter.
Right.
It could be longer.
Right.
But I think a year is what we've set. And a year, I think what we figured out with our friends and our family and relationships, obviously, is that like you have to say, you're actually saying goodbye. Not like goodbye forever necessarily.
Right.
But like
a lot of shit's going to happen in that year that we're not going to be around for.
Yeah, that you're never going to get back. And like you're not going to be there for those people. And like everybody, you know, you can say like, oh, we're going to Skype and like, oh, come visit me. And like, but the reality is that like we're leaving some stuff behind that we're not going to get back. And like that's
and when we come back, things are going to be different.
And we're going to be different.
We are.
And so it's hard to know like where we're going. And so I think it does make us, like, if we sound like kind of self-helpy or whatever, like we are going through it right now.
No, it is, the struggle is real. We are driving that struggle bus.
We are. But you know what? I am very proud of us for being brave. I think that we're making steps that are like really hard and we're doing it. And I'm really glad to have you as like my friend.
I am too. And it's so, we talked about it from the financial aspect, I think last time a little bit, that it is helpful to have a travel companion to help you split these Airbnbs and to, you know, like split cost with. But the emotional support as a woman traveling internationally for a year, I know that people do it. I have nothing but crazy respect for the people who are just like out on their own, traveling to random ass places, doing work along the way and like making it work for themselves.
Right.
It's so much better to have a friend to go with.
It is so much better. And I mean, I know it's going to be better in the moment. And Carrie and I, like, this episode's not the time, but like we will get into some of our crazy travel stories and we are going to make some more crazy travel stories. Like Carrie and I travel together like amazingly. But I feel like even more than that, like it's been really good to have somebody to talk to through this transition. Because like putting all of my stuff in storage and like
it's so scary. Like all of the things that I still like, I am so proud of you and I am so jealous of the progress that you've been able to make. And like I need to make, there's a countdown timer just ticking away on the progress that I need to make in order to be able to get on that plane January 1st and go to Puerto Rico and start this next phase. You asked a question that I don't think that I answered, which is percentage-wise, how confident am I that there's going to be like a flight to somewhere other than back to the U.S. for me from Puerto? Oh, I guess that's still U.S. But anyway, like, am I going to come back here after Puerto Rico? I think that there's like a 20% chance that I might tap out. Okay. I'm gonna say there's like a 20% tap out.
That's fair. It's a fair number.
I have no idea.
I don't know either.
You know I love to travel and you know I never want to go back. I am always like, can we extend this? Can we do this for a while longer?
But this is going to be different.
It will be different. But it also is going to be different in the way that like I will have completely untethered myself. Like my shit will be in storage.
Having your shit in storage.
Have Cooter. Yeah. Somebody's going to take Cooter. I will write a sick Craigslist ad and just like get that cat.
Right. But do you know how good it was for me to come here this week? Like we planned this trip like less than 48 hours before I left.
We did. we had some client meetings that we needed to, like, it's really helpful sometimes to be in the same room, and we do make those accommodations, even though, like,
Yeah, we had
got
some
it
stuff we
virtually.
were working on that, like, we really kind of needed to be in the same place. But the fact that I was just able to do that I bought a one-way ticket, that I'm not concerned about, like, is my cat being taken care of? Like, is my apartment okay? Like, it is a real load off, you know? And I came back, I didn't buy a ticket back until, like, it had been a couple days, and, like, we figured out, like, you know, have we gotten through enough work? Like, have we figured out enough stuff?
Because we didn't know how long it was going to take some of this. Like, the video stuff that we've been working on, like...
It was, like, oddly grueling. Like...
driving that struggle bus.
Yeah. So, like, we did some great work together this week, and we used up the amount of time that we needed to use up to make that happen. And then I'm going to go home tomorrow. And, like, we also had a great week. Like, I got to meet so many cool people and have, like, a really great time.
Interesting places.
You took me to some of the weirdest places I've ever been in my life.
And you've been places. That's, like, an
I
honor
really
for
have.
me to hear.
I really have. Like,
You're not coming from nowhere.
no.
I mean, you are coming from Akron.
I am,
like,
but a country bumpkin I am not.
no,
I've seen the world.
you have.
And I've seen a lot of things go down in a weird private club that people don't know about. But last night was the weirdest private club I've ever been to in my life.
I loves me some private clubs.
Yeah.
Like, is there an after hours club? Can we make one?
Yeah.
Can we print out membership cards? I'm gonna have one.
You should.
I took you to this place. That'll be a different.
It'll be a different episode, but
It'll be a different one, yeah.
It was really good. But I'm just telling you, freedom awaits. Like, it is really hard. But the fact that I'm doing this, and then I'm going home, like, whenever, and then next week I would like to go see my family. I'm just going to do that on whatever day makes the most sense for me to leave.
Right.
And then I'm going to go to my cousin's wedding in Indianapolis, and, like, I'll come back whenever feels appropriate, and I will continue to be doing work through that entire time.
And then we're going to Puerto Rico. Like, we are going to Puerto Rico. My shit is going into some sort of climate controlled lockable box.
Right.
I have to we're breaking up. We've already done it twice unsuccessfully. Like, this is
I know it's hard.
it's so shitty. Like, relation shit is
Yes.
what I'm in right now. And actually, dictionary.com relation shit. Have you ever heard of relation shit?
No.
The first time I ever heard of relation shit, I think it was Mark Suster, who is a startup guy turned VC who writes at bothsidesofthetable.com. Like, I subscribe to that newsletter.
Oh, yeah.
I love it. He has given me so many inspirational quotes. My favorite is, the best fuck you is success. I'm like, yes.
I feel like that's kind of like your life motto.
It is. It is. Like, don't get mad, get even. No.
Even's not enough.
You get one up
Yeah.
by being just...
Even is for pussies.
Even is for people who can't do better.
Exactly.
It's rough and terrible to say
Even
that,
it's
but
for people
true.
who barely made the cut.
So, relation shit is defined by Urban Dictionary as a relationship with a significant other that has gone sour and both parties are too scared and or lazy to call it quits. It's scary to end a relationship.
That's some, like, those are some deep cuts.
Right? Deep cuts.
Yeah.
From Urban Dictionary, like urbandictionary.com.
Urban Dictionary just read you to the ground. You just got read by Urban Dictionary.
Like, do I need to submit my photo?
Yeah, I think you do.
Like ours. It's a thing. I'm gonna get, we have these things as adults that we need to deal with, and you can deal with them or not, and it's what defines you as a person. And
Yeah.
I'm gonna run toward that awkward conversation for a third time at some point.
Yeah, you got this. And listen, if it just turns into, like, the best month in Puerto Rico anyone has ever had, that's still a win.
And
we
we're
still had an adventure. We still did something a lot of people don't do.
we're still gonna learn how to surf
Yes, well,
or die trying.
we're trying more.
We're gonna die
It's gonna
trying.
be
Maybe.
probably more on the die trying side.
I don't know who our surf instructor is going to be, but this person is in for a treat.
Oh, this poor man.
Oh man.
Maybe we need to get a girl. But I'm really imagining it as this like really horrible white guy with
No.
with dreads.
I think we need a team.
Well, like specialists?
No, I think we do. We need to get 2 longboards.
Yeah.
And we each need to have, you know how
If
in
I
crew,
can stand up on one surfboard, I will consider myself a seasoned surfer and retire immediately. I'll be like, I've done it.
you know how it like in crew with like the Olympics and stuff, there's always
Yeah.
that like tiny little person who's just like yelling at everyone else to row. That's what I need at the end of my surfboard. And it's going to be like, pop up. And I'm like, I don't. You taught me what that meant on the beach. Let me recall that skill real quick that I learned.
We're just going to have some hot surfer bro instructor, and we are going to fail so epically.
I'm too clumsy. I say this, I'm too clumsy to surf. No. You're like so determined that you are going to overcome that clumsiness and you're going to make that surfboard your bitch.
Okay.
That's what we're going to do.
Okay.
And our probably white dude with dreads that we hired to teach us how to do this.
He's going to be the worst. His name's going to be like Bradley or like Schwa.
Listen, Brad's going to teach us how to get this done.
Right.
And we're going to look back fondly on our time with Brad. In the minute, it's going to be just like surfboard to the face, sand scratching corneas, like
Puking up the salt water.
there might be sharks.
Yeah.
I want to swim with sharks, but like on purpose.
On purpose, not like impromptu.
No. Not like, hey,
Yeah.
here's some Jaws action coming at you as you're trying to learn this new life skill now.
All right.
I've got
So,
some work to do.
yeah. No, we've got, okay. All right. Well, this was a good talk.
The next time we record, what are we going to, like, what's going to be done? My shit's going to be in a box the next time.
Yeah.
we
You
pick
need
up
to
a
get
mic.
some stuff in a box. You probably have to have some hard conversations.
I might call you drunk and crying a couple times.
That's fine. It's fine.
We're going to do that. Won't be the first time.
No. And you know what? It's good, though. It's good. You got to let it out, girl.
We'll do it.
Yes.
This is going to happen.
is.
And we're going to check in when we've made more progress.
Yeah, absolutely.
Progress hurts so bad.
It does.
Why does progress make me sweat this way?
It just does.
My hands are clammy.
You've got the glow of progress about you.
I do have the glow of progress about me. Oh, man.
All right.
All right, more.
On that note, we're going to go drink a bunch of wine.
Cry it out a little bit.
A little bit.
Are we going to stress eat and cry? Is
Yeah.
this how we wrap all of our
Yeah.
conversations? It's just like stress eat and
I can't imagine why we feel like we need to run from our lives because they're clearly going so well.
Oh, God.
Well, and with that, we're going to go stress, eat, and cry. Good night, ladies and gentlemen.
Bye.